Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Brews and Buddies. I am your co-host, Sanj, and with me, as always, is CB. How you doing, CB?
What is up, my brother?
Chilling, as they said in the 90s, like a villain. All right. Who's your favorite villain, bro? If you had to choose a villain to be, who would it be?
Favorite villain? Shit, off the top of my dome, I'd probably honestly would say, uh, maybe Shredder.
From Ninja Turtles?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's sick.
Shredder.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Shredder for sure. Because he's kind of like he's always down to fucking do shit, but then when push comes to shove, he always dips out. So in a way, he's kind of a fucking bitch.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know who always comes to mind for me as a villain was Russell Crowe versus Denzel Washington in Virtuosity or whatever that movie was.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
seen that
yeah.
movie way back in the day?
Been a
Russell
minute.
Crowe was a good bad guy. Oh, and you know
Yeah.
who else? Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. Yeah,
Oh damn, that's a good
that was
one.
classic. That was classic. All right, so let's get to it. This is
Yep.
Bruce and Buddies. He is CB. I am Sanj. And this show is basically about everything that we love about DG. We call it DG. You may know it as disc golf or frisbee golf
Or
or
Frolf.
frolf. Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite names as well. I also like Dolph, the Lundgren, if you will. But yeah, that's what our show is pretty much about. Many different aspects about DG. That's what we will call it, disc golf, and everything from what kind of beverages will go great when you are out there to pro tips and disc recommendations, reviews on courses, anything that we can think of to bring this great game to you. What do you think, brother?
Sounds great, man. It's such a awesome sport. I wish I could do it every day. I mean, we all could do it every day if we wanted to, but man, it's so amazing. I love it. It's big, but not that big yet, but I kind of like how it is already right now within the community.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's got an underground vibe to it, if you will. It's the reggae on the river of sports. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Very chill, very open and accepting to everyone. It's got that skate kind of feel to it, like
Yeah.
um, conversing with a lot of skaters that I do know. They always tell me that it's a very like skating is a very open and welcoming community. And I find that
Hmm.
to be the same with disc golf.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. It's like one of those sports that it's almost like, like with skating, everyone has their own like self-expression, but with disc golf too, it's the same way as well, even though, people are still on like the same hole, for example, but
Yeah,
everyone has to
it's all
have
good.
their own, yeah, everyone has their own chance of like what lines they want to take to hit certain shots. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, exactly. And I find it, a very welcoming community because I remember maybe the first time I played, getting to the ninth hole and seeing the bonfire and everyone singing Kumbaya around it. I felt like, hey, this is a place for me. No,
Yeah.
they don't have that over there. But you wouldn't be surprised to find some of the cool things that you will observe at a disc golf course. So
Yeah.
how'd you get into the sport, my man? Like you're pretty much the expert here on it more than I am. Tell us about it.
Um,
Tell us about DG. Tell us about CB.
yeah, for sure. So, for one, definitely not expert, but for sure, an amateur. I love it, dude. I think I remember vividly, probably about 10 to maybe a little less than 15 years ago. I was playing DG with some buddies, some actually high school friends, and I remember they invited me out, and I was always like, what the fuck is this? Like, you're throwing frisbees, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and then they told me it's like the same concept as golf, everyone knows what golf is. But you're using frisbees, we call them discs, right? But
Mhm.
when I first seen it, I was like, wow, this shit is super dope because you get to be outside, you get to, play a fun and competitive round with some buddies, and I was pretty much hooked, dude. Like, I can't remember exactly like the hole or place I threw, but I think it was maybe in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. That's a great course, but
Hmm.
I loved it, man. And then as time went on, friends and stuff kind of move on in life, and I'm still friends with my buddies though that I learned with, but everyone kind of like had more priorities to focus on. And I didn't play DG for like a solid, like almost probably 10 years, dude, maybe, or maybe even a little less. But I just recently got back into it again last summer, and I fucking love it, man. It's just so fun. I love just being outside, playing with some buddies, being in like the outdoors, fresh air, man. It's such an awesome time, man. I love it.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree with you more on everything that you just explained about the sport. For me, you were the one who invited me, right? Like you're
Mhm.
kind of just like, hey, like I really got into this sport. And how long would you say you were already into it before? Because you and I had just met up out of fluke, like we were hanging
Yeah.
out, and then just like you say, you lose contact with people, and then whatever, for some reason, power more powerful than me, like brought us back in front of each other. And then you had like told me about this sport. How much were you into it at that point? Like, were you already like playing it for a few years, a couple of days?
Yeah, dude. So honestly, I'd probably say like it's coming up consistently. Like in July is when I got back into it last year,
Okay.
But how I found out about it, like getting into it where I'm at now is just or rekindling that passion was one of my buddies at my work, you know who he is. I'm not gonna say who, but
Yeah.
yeah, so he asked me one weekend, he was like, "Hey dude, like what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just chilling." And I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play some disc golf." And I was like, what the fuck? Like you play disc golf? And he was just like, yeah, man, I've been playing. He's like, do you play? And I was like, bro, I used to play. And he was just
Yeah.
like, no shit. And then, we had this like some sort of excitement. And he was like, dude, we should play together. And then next thing you know, and I was like, all right. Luckily I had all my old discs, dude, like these battered discs in my closet. And I was like, all right, I'll use my old stuff and see if I still love to play it, which I do. But
Right.
once I went out on the course, and it was just fun being out there, and and super rusty. My shots were fucking terrible, it happens with everyone, but yeah, I got addicted again, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy me fucking discs. And
There you go.
it just got addicting, dude. It literally got addicting, and here I am, man, fucking a backpack full of discs, and fucking just super hyped and playing it like weekly, so
Yeah.
here I am.
And I hear like when you play, you get so excited, your discs get rock hard. Is that true? Yes or no?
It hits the rock hard.
To
Yeah.
each their own, I'm not gonna judge, but
Bruh.
no, I'm just kidding. Um, so okay, so then you had introduced me to it, and you were like, hey, like I play this sport. Come out, just come out and like experience it. And I was basically like looking for something to do on the
Yeah.
weekends. And so when you had introduced me to it, I was just like, okay, like why the fuck not? Like, I mean, I can
Yeah.
throw a frisbee 10 yards,
Yeah.
backhand. And then I looked online about like what it was on YouTube, and I was like, oh shit, like, these guys, like, because you can already kind of guess what it is. It's disc golf. So it's
Yeah.
not ball golf, right? It's
Yeah.
disc golf. So already you kind of have an idea, but then you really have to kind of like be able to you kind of want to be able to be good at it, right? You don't want to just like
Hmm.
kind of like go out there and go 5 yards every
Hmm.
throw. You want to be able to like kind of launch it. So then I was just like, oh shit, I gotta learn like a forehand throw before I go out there. And then just like what the community is in disc golf and DG, like you're like, okay, let me introduce you to it. Here's a couple discs, like don't even buy any.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of the ones that like always worked for me. I'm passing it on to you. And your job one day to introduce it to someone else is to pass whatever discs onto someone else to get them started.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that pay it forward aspect to it. So
Yep.
yeah, give me some discs, and then like you kind of taught me the forehand, and then we
Hmm.
fucking like the next day, you do kind of have to just balls up and just be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna go out there. The thing is, it's only in your own head, because the
Yeah.
community, the disc golf community, like you could take fucking forever, and they'll totally be like, oh, just fucking, keep trying. They may give you a tip, like the old school cats might give you a tip here and there. but more than
Yeah.
likely you'll let them pass you. You'll be like, oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
like I'm just learning. Just be yourself and be honest and be straightforward.
Yeah.
So they were like super inviting, just the community itself. And then I went out there and just like you, I was like, damn, like, I can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's not like a golf swing where you have to have your
Yeah.
club. You have like, different styles and all this. It's like, you can go out there and you can chuck it pretty fucking far and calculate, okay, I have this consistency in my swing. It fucking always, or in my throw, it always fucking goes left. So aim right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I fell in love with it like instantly, and now I'm into having my dynamic disc bags, and I'm kind of like, specific to only dynamic discs because they feel great
Hmm.
to me, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
everyone kind of like gets into their own groove about it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to like explain to people, and hopefully you can help me here. Is there's like one of the great things about it is the cost of
Yeah.
DG.
Super
DG,
easy.
like the only cost that really have is, if you're a beginner, is just getting maybe, I don't know, $50 worth of equipment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Even
that's
less
like,
probably too.
yeah,
Yeah.
to be honest, you can go on Amazon and for like $25.99, you can get a decent shoulder bag and
Hmm.
like at least 3 fucking discs, like a driver, a mid-range, and a
Putter and a
putter.
putter. Yeah.
Yeah, and with a marker, and
And
you'll
they
be
come
set.
with like, yeah, and they come with like little box sets too. So if you're kind of like
Yeah.
unsure of what to get, just get a little beginner set, dude. And they're super, super useful to see if you really want to kind of like dip your toes into the sport. But yeah, man.
And to be honest, straight up, like with me, my beginner set, it's so like broken in and comfortable and like an extension of my hand now. I still use it as my driver
Yeah.
and I rip it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that's one of the great things about DG. It's just the cost of it. No course costs anything. You could just walk
Yeah.
on. They're
Yeah.
like, it's like a hiking trail, and
Yeah.
so that's one of the great benefits of it.
I feel like too, it's like I know a lot of courses, they don't charge, but it's funny. It's like they don't charge, but then you might have to pay for a parking fee, which is fine, as long as like if I'm paying for a course or the parking fee, I want to make sure that like it goes back to the community, of taking care of the course,
Yes,
of
that's right.
stuff like that. So like I'm more than happy to donate money or spend money on a course as long as it's getting taken care of. And there are courses like that, like a lot of these places take care of the course, so which is really awesome, man. Like I'm completely down for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, that's the thing. Like when you go there, there's just like you're saying, you're gonna pay $10 to maybe like park. And sometimes, like to be honest with you, if you fucking forget your wallet or something like that, it's not like there's a park ranger who's like driving around
Yeah.
looking in everyone's windshields, because it's not
Yeah.
that vibe. But
Yeah.
as a fucking respectable person, pay the fee, pay the
Yeah.
parking, because just like CB is saying, you want the course to be able to be upkept, you want them to have a person to be able to go out and change the location of the baskets and the
Yeah.
cages, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it makes it even more fun,
Yeah.
when you go out there, you're gonna want to donate the $10 because it's not gonna come off as feeling like, oh, like this is a parking fee. It's gonna come off as this is an awesome donation I'm making to be able to do this awesome game every weekend.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. And that's like what I think that's what's so awesome about this community is that, you know, people are willing to help this community like take care of its course, right? Like you don't want to shit where you sleep, right? Like if I go to a course,
Exactly.
like I want to make sure that this course is well taken care of. Like if I see something on the ground, like garbage, I'm gonna do my best to pick it up, right? Like,
Exactly.
but and just like stuff like that pisses me off because there are always gonna be bad apples out there, right? People are gonna be so messy
Yeah.
and just leave shit. And it's like, dude, if you're gonna go there and drink a beer, you best bring that fucking beer with you, dude. If you can carry a